Welcome to the Sports Livin with Coach Biven podcast. I want to thank all my sponsors: Biven Grounds Crew, Ellis Baseball Academy Performance, Extreme Concrete Cutting, Kentucky Select Properties, Gum Heating and Cooling, Played Again Sports St. Matthews, the Scroggin team at Remax, Shrink Personal Training, Sorg Sport and Wellness, Striegel Family Dentistry, True Officials, Went Family Wealth Management. Again, thank you to all my sponsors. Welcome to the show today, guys. Our guest today played some college baseball and now owns and runs EBA Performance, which helps athletes get bigger, faster, and stronger for the next level of their athletic journey. He played some college baseball at Kentucky Wesleyan in Owensboro, Kentucky. His senior year, he hit .283 with 7 home runs, 7 doubles, 26 RBIs, and an awesome .447 on-base percentage. So I know we're going to get into the strength stuff later, but 7 home runs ain't bad for a senior year. So,
Yeah.
and I know why. I know why.
Thanks for putting the on base percentage in. A lot of
Hey.
people forget about the OBP.
I love that. That's I mean, what else are you supposed to do? Get on base.
Yeah, absolutely.
He graduated with a degree in exercise science. That has taken you to your career now, where you train many young athletes, college athletes, and also some professional athletes. I also want to thank our guest today for sponsoring the podcast to get this thing going, to let some youth parents and kids out there hear the message. And so with that, I want to welcome Ian Ellis to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to do a little bit of the youth sports. I think that's what he started in, obviously. What he also has a couple brothers. I'm sure that'll get mentioned here in a little bit, but he just lived in the Jeffersonville, Indiana area. There's huge rivalries in the youth sports world with city to city to city around this southern Indiana area. So let's jump into the youth sports days. What did you, all the sports you played?
So I played baseball, but I was not very good at baseball when I was like 9, 10. So my parents actually started throwing me in other sports to figure out maybe Ian's not a baseball player. So like I actually went and I did karate, I did swimming. We all played basketball. But I was more like swimming and then baseball. I played football when I was in middle school for 2 years, but I really didn't play that much football.
Right.
So it was mainly baseball, mainly swimming for me, and then basketball as well.
Nice. And I know you played the Little League days just due to the All-Stars and the rivalry with New Albany Little League. That was I want you to kind of just give the love of it, the excitement of it. I mean, people just don't understand it. I think some of the Louisville people that didn't have that experience, just doing the travel ball from age 7 on. But how was that with that experience?
Little League was the best, and we didn't even play travel ball until after 12-year-old, because the big thing was 12-year-old All-Stars and going to the Little League World Series, and that was the coolest thing in the world if you got the chance to do that. And we actually we probably have the best, or had the best sectional, or the district, they called it, with us, New Albany, HYR, us being Jeff GRC. And I don't think people understand the rivalry and the fun aspect of New Albany Little League versus Jeff GRC Little League back in 2010, 2012. And now I don't think it's the same thing at all.
Right.
Because all these kids are playing travel ball, and they're missing out on a ton of magic that happened in those Little League years.
Absolutely. The hype of it all was real. It was something we all got to experience, and nobody's ever going to take that away. But like you just said, the travel world has just bombarded the youth sports all the way down to very, very, very young ages. But we'll get into that a little bit later too. But so you're at Jeffersonville High School now, and you're a freshman. You playing baseball only at this point?
So I played baseball, basketball through the full freshman year. I was on the swim team for a little bit, but the practices just kind of didn't work with the schedule I had. looking back, I definitely wish I would have continued to swim at least 2 or 3 more years, but I ended up focusing on baseball after my freshman year.
Gotcha. And coaches at the other levels, other sports, maybe even back to the very youth sports days. Any of those influence you? I know you had your father coached you, so I know that's most likely one. But any other guys, even the swim coach or youth basketball coaches?
It was really just my dad that influenced me the most in just my playing career because he ended up actually coaching me um, for almost my entire career. I had a couple other assistant coaches, Jerry Cardwell, great coach, Jimmy Cardwell, of course,
Yep.
rest in peace, the best. Um, Chuck Watson, PK Falkenstein, of course, all just great youth sports people. Chuck Watson being the father of Trey Watson
Yeah.
from Providence High School right now. They were all just really really good people that just helped me become a better person. Not necessarily just a better player. They helped me grow off the field, which helped me grow on the field.
Gotcha. And that's pretty much what youth athletics is all about. I mean,
Should be.
you're not going to have too many daggone pros out there, so enjoy the
No.
experience and
Yeah.
run with it. But on that side of the high school baseball, you had some great experiences there. Tell us a little bit about that. Plus, like, when did you feel, okay, I can play college baseball?
So I had a thought that I was going to be good enough to play college baseball as a freshman, but it really set in when I was a sophomore and I was on the team with Drew, of course, Chandler Dale, Josh Burke, a bunch of other guys that played college baseball, and I kind of found myself that year. I really fell in love with baseball that year, and that's when I decided like I'm going to play college baseball no matter what it takes.
Awesome. You have two brothers. How did that overlap with in the high school ranks?
So I was actually really lucky. I got to play. I was on the team with Drew freshman sophomore year, and then my senior year, Jack was on the team too as a freshman. So I got to play
Wow.
with them both. Jack
That,
played a little bit. I actually think he ended up playing. I think he DH'd in the sectional championship game that we lost against New Albany, which is an incredible game in itself.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You had and your dad played some college baseball.
Yep,
I
he
knew
played at
that.
Vincennes and
Yep,
Indiana State.
that's awesome. And then your older brother played some major league baseball. Your
Yep,
younger brother is still playing college baseball, correct?
yep, yep. He's at Indiana University Southeast right now.
And is he a senior now or
This will be his
junior?
last year. I think
Last
this is
year,
his fifth year. He played at Campbell for a few years down in the Carolinas. He played at USI last year, and now he's
yeah. Gotcha.
IUS.
And your positions, I know one thing I looked on your college bio and I didn't mention it, but you actually threw 3.1 innings. So I'm guessing high school ball, what positions did you play?
So in high school, I was actually more of a pitcher. Um, I played all over the infield. I played pitcher and second base for the majority of my high school. Um, but if you would have asked me my senior year, I would have told you I was going to go to college and be a pitcher only. I think I had 7 or 8 starts my senior year, and then I think we lost one of those games.
Yeah.
But I love pitching. I love just being involved in every single play in the game. And then I got to college. I was a pretty much a PO my freshman year. But as a reliever, you find yourself in this weird scenario where you're almost like, man, I want to play right now, so I kind of hope this pitcher gets shelled for a few innings
Yeah.
so I can
Get it.
so I can get my innings. And
Yeah.
that's not a mindset you want to have as a teammate.
Right. Right.
So I ended up taking that summer off of baseball and focusing on the gym and focusing on stuff that's going to help me get in the lineup the next year. And I came back completely different shape my sophomore year of college at Only Central. And I played the majority of the year, different positions, second base, shortstop, third base there. And I was able to get another scholarship to go play at Kentucky Wesleyan.
And you went there obviously as a two-way. You got a few innings there, but mainly as a outfielder, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if this is a for sure stat. I think I'm the only, they told me this, the coaches told me this. I think I'm the only player to ever get the win on the mound or start a game on the mound and hit a home run in the same game.
That's not
So,
easy to do.
yeah, I'm hoping that's a legit thing. I've been telling everybody it's a legit thing. So, but I don't think there's the history books look into that too much.
No, but I mean, how
Not
many
a
do
D2.
get? I mean, think about it. You go to college, you're either going to be a pitcher or a hitter. Not too many kids get to be that two-way,
Yeah, it was fun.
especially and do something like that. Hit and pitch in the same game.
Yeah,
Uh, so obviously from Oni, then I want to get back to Oni real quick.
yeah,
The JUCO level now with the portal, now with 23, 24-year-old college kids, you're in this business of getting bigger, faster, stronger. But guess what? They can't age any quicker.
yeah,
They have to be 19 years old, most
yeah.
likely, going into college, and you're playing 22, 23-year-olds. What's your thoughts on the JUCO then and now, how important I feel the JUCO is?
I think now it's probably more important now just because like if you're not if you're not throwing 93, 94 coming out of high school, you're not going to play at the level you think you're going to play at if you're low 80s. And um, JUCO is an opportunity to go develop those skills and play right away to develop experience or get that experience that you need to be really successful at the next level.
Right.
Now, college baseball is so much different. Even I mean, I played 5 years ago. I think 2021, so about 5 years ago. It's completely different than when I played. I mean, it's crazy.
It's wild. And to that, even to the JUCO, to the D2 level at Kentucky Wesleyan, there's kids now going in the portal from the D2s. Louisville had a few last year, got one this year that you go in the portal, you're now at a Power Four college baseball team. And
Exactly. I
that's
mean,
wild.
there's so much talent in the game right now. You have to be really, really good at baseball if you want to play at the next level.
Yep. And back to the saying the wild, it's not wild. They just got to that school because of however it worked out.
Yeah.
You going to Wesleyan, all of a sudden you're hitting 390 with 15 jacks your junior year. You go in the portal, you end up
Yeah.
at the Power Four. That's just the way of
Yeah.
the world right now. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Go if you're really good, you can play wherever you want to play.
I agree. And playing at any level, I've said that on a few of the podcasts that the JUCO level, D3, D2, NAI. I mean, your brother's over at IUS. I played there in '98, and I saw some daggone good players still
They're
get drafted out of
stacked.
there.
They're stacked this year. I think they're almost the entire starting lineup could or had played at the Division I level. Like I think
That's crazy.
their infield is entirely guys that are fifth years or played
Yeah.
D1 last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We got Beards over there. Been following
Yep.
him, and obviously your brother and some of the other local kids. It's cool to see a New Albany, Indiana, Southern Indiana, little smaller college do so
Yeah.
good in
I
NAI
know.
baseball for years, not just
Yep.
the last 3 or 4, but
Yeah.
it's been pretty cool to see. So you get the degree at Kentucky Wesleyan that propels you to your career now. And
Yeah.
how was that? The studies there for that probably tough.
So the studies at school actually it was pretty simple there. I mean, you're just kind of learning just general exercise physiology and stuff. The majority of the studying that I did was over COVID. So during COVID, I basically just stayed in the basement and then just studied the body. Got my personal training certifications, got other all sorts of education on that, and took some tests and got certified at different spots. Um, but I knew this is what I wanted to do because it helped my career so much. So it was honestly easy, easy because I loved it so much.
Okay, true. Yep. Very good point. Very good point. So you get the degree, you started helping at Kentucky Wesleyan before you
So I
started
was,
EBA.
yeah. So I was while I was on the baseball team, I was the Kentucky Wesleyan strengthening and strength
Okay.
and conditioning coach as my internship. And I still work with them today remotely, um, as well as IUS.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
And back to IUS is with the baseball team and
just the
golf.
baseball team.
Okay, just baseball
Just the
team.
baseball
Yeah.
team.
Tell us a little bit about that because I've seen some short clips on from your company and it looks amazing and they need that. the college
Yeah.
kids need it as well.
Um, yeah, they didn't. I don't necessarily know if they had a coach, but I don't think he was as involved as I am. I remember the first day, and you can kind of tell the difference right away with coaches, I guess. And I guess the first day, I show up at 5:30 a.m. every single day there, just to set things up. And I think that the guy they had before didn't even set anything up. They just left the weight room as it was. Um, and they were shocked when I came in and all the benches were where they needed to be. All the barbells were set up for what we're doing today. I had the lasers out. I had the iPads out because we're running sprints. And it's just, hopefully, I've made some sort of cultural change in that team or organization that we can keep building on year after year.
Awesome. So you start EBA Performance at what age? I know you're really young.
2021, I'm 2027.
20 whatever.
23.
3, yeah. 20, yeah.
23. It's hard. It's weird because I graduated and after COVID in a weird year. So it's we've been going for 5 years, or next year will be my fifth year doing it. So it was about
Nice.
23.
Nice. Yeah. And that's so cool to see. We just had Timmy Redford, the coach at New Albany high school baseball, and last week, and he was 23 or 24 or so when he got, the job at New Albany. It's just really neat to see. And obviously, you know Cooper, and he really respects you for taking him in down there at Wesleyan. And he, starts a lawn and landscape at age 21. So, you just go do it.
Yeah, you just got to go after it. And I think that in regards to me and Timmy, is coaches or players are going to react a little bit better to younger coaches, I think, nowadays, because they can relate so much. And we're able to have different conversations with the kids where they're completely themselves versus where an older coach may not be able to reach a kid in the same way.
Totally agree that you got to have, it's like all the staffs have had young guys in high school. You got a young guy coaching, and you got an older guy in the dugout as well. That whole range is a great mix. I know New Albany with Timmy's got a very young staff, but they get it done, and kids respect them, like you said, and get after it. So you were at Wesleyan. Back to that real quick. Any coaches that I know you had a head coach there, but you had a couple assistants. Anybody there really help you through your career there?
All of them, really. Casey Hamilton, he is the head coach at Brescia now. He recruited me, and we were really close for the year that he was there. Andrew Kirkland, the assistant coach, who was the younger coach on the staff, who was also great and helped me, and we hung out and everything like that. And I was able to be open with him. Coach Mantooth, who was the pitching coach, who actually helped me hitting wise a ton. We would spend some nights one-on-one in the facility together, just talking about what I need to do at the plate. And then Coach Lopop, of course, who was the head coach. All of the coaches I've had there were really impactful on my career.
Nice. Let's get into EBA Performance. I pretty much live about 10 seconds from it. I can look out my window right now and see the guys running the 60-yard dash down the strip there. So what's the location you call it? I guess we call this area South Clarksville now, living here, but
I guess it's technically Clarksville. Yeah. It's on the address, but it's basically Jeff.
Yeah.
Water Tower Station, down here by 2nd Street Bridge. I think this location, I don't know what they're putting on the other side of the street, but it's going to boom here soon.
Oh yeah, I know. We've heard a convention center and some other buildings of some sort, but so let's get right into all this. I want to hear everything from what you do there, ages, and what they get out of it, so to speak, and how you can help them become a better athlete.
Yeah. So I work with primarily high school, college athletes. But of course I have my starting strength group, which that's a group of 9 and 10-year-old kids just who may not play multiple sports, who just need some sort of physical background to build them up as they mature through the years in sports. I have a pretty good middle school group. Most of them come 3-4 days a week. and it's middle school, but I have some fifth graders in there as well. And then the high school group, of course. And everything I'm doing is just trying to build up level by level for each kid to be ready to play or have that foundation to be successful at the next level. Because a lot of the things that hold people back is not necessarily the skill. Like, we've played with players that have the skill but just can't hit the ball out of the park. And now you got to hit the ball out of the park. So you have to have some sort of physical background to play at the next level. And I'm quickly moving toward more of a speed program. Obviously, the strength is going to be part of that because that's a big part of speed. I'm more focused on speed right now because that's where I lacked, and I think that's where I could have made the most change, because I think in high school I was a 7.2 runner. I run like a 7 flat right now because I've done the same programs that my guys do. And I think that especially in the showcase era that we're in, you run a good 60, coaches are going to be looking at you. So that's a big goal of mine, is to get the majority of my athletes under a 7-second 60.
That's awesome. And how do you go about that? I mean, some strength plays into it, but then a lot of just speed and agility work. Is that what you do with them?
So we do a lot. Yeah, we do a lot of sprints. I think that people get caught up in we got a parachute runner, we're running hills, all this, but are you timing your sprints? If you're not timing your sprints, you're not training speed.
Right.
Because you don't know where you're at. Because I can go out back and I can run as hard as I can, but I don't know the time with that. And then if I do the same thing next week, I don't know if I got better. You play baseball, you feel sometimes, oh, I'm throwing harder today. They get the gun out, 82.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with sprinting. Like, your max effort may not be what you think it is day to day. And we have timing gates. And that's when I started getting a decent amount of income, I was able to buy some technology. And that's the first thing I bought, was sprint timers.
Yep.
So now the kids know exactly what they're running. So there's no guesswork involved, because I can sit there with a hand timer and tell them. And I think we did the math one day, and my thumb was 0.2 seconds faster than the actual timer. So if I'm telling kids they're running a 6.8, but they go run a showcase and they're running a 7.1,
right,
they're not going to be happy with me.
Right. It's like a laser technology. Yeah, I've seen it out there.
Yeah, so I put they got two lasers at the front, or where you start, and then two lasers wherever you want to end up. So 60, they run through it, starts the timer, they run through the second one, stops the timer.
And back when I was getting ready for high school, at the middle school, or even in high school, trying to get ready for the next level, like, I played 3 sports in high school, so I didn't really concentrate on the weight room at all. Didn't really concentrate on speed stuff, just because I was going to one sport to the other. But I think nowadays, with your job here, your career that you're in, it's a huge industry that can help the kids. It's not like some of this stuff you see out there, it's smoke and mirrors. Like, this is real proven facts. If you can get faster, if you can get stronger, because you've discussed it. I've seen some of your shorts and all your Instagram posts that I love, that you talk about, if you'd have had this, or if I'd have had that, I didn't go in the weight room. I wasn't strong.
Yeah, we had, even the weight room stuff that we did when I was in high school in 2016 was like, you go to the school weight room and then you do whatever you got to do there, and then you leave, and that's all you did. Now, like I said earlier, the game has gotten to a point where you have to do this other stuff. Like, I saw a video of a freshman in high school throwing 97 miles per hour, but we got 150-pound kids who think they're strong enough and they're going to play at the next level. We got to bridge the gap somewhere. I mean, you're not there. What do you think what's going to help you get there?
And I know you do strength as well, because I've seen the guys doing a lot of the lifts. I helped over Jeff there for a few years, and seen some of those kids literally get stronger, not because they aged a year up and a grade up. You could physically see that they change with very good movements. What are some of the movements, I guess, with the weights? I know you did a lot of what is that deadlift they get in the box? And
trap bar deadlift.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we do a lot of trap bar deadlift. We're not doing as much now. We're getting close to the season. We'll do it here and there during the year. So we do a lot of trap bar deadlift. We do a lot of Zercher squats, which is the barbell in the crick of your elbow in
Okay.
front of your body.
Yep.
Um, we do bench. I know a lot of people, you can say what you want about bench, but if you do it right, you're fine. And we make sure they do it right before they start loading up the bar. We
Yep.
do a lot of dumbbell bench as well. A ton of single leg movements, reverse lunge, what's something called a skater squat, which is basically a lunge without your back foot hitting the ground.
Gotcha.
And I would say those exercises right there are the main weighted movements we use. We'll try to load up a chin up as much as possible. I want to get everybody at like 250 pounds total weight on a
Gotcha.
chin up for a 1 rep.
Okay.
And that just helps their shoulders and everything just stay in a really good spot while they're playing baseball in an overhead sport. So they're not caved forward. They're at an even spot.
Gotcha.
Not rounded, not pulled back too much.
Gotcha. And you train mainly baseball, but any other guys come in there, I'm sure.
Majority baseball. I have a few swimmers, actually. I have a couple football players, and I'm starting to get more basketball players. I start to get more basketball players around this time. Now that the seasons are coming to end there, and they got a little bit more free time.
Yeah, cool. And you also are still doing, you said, remotely with Kentucky Wesleyan Golf.
Yep.
And what
Yep.
was your certification as well in that?
So that is, I got a Titleist Performance Institute level 1 certification, which is a really good education course on just the human body in general.
Gotcha.
And it kind of it goes both ways with baseball. You see a lot of baseball strength and conditioning coaches have this certification because the sports aren't super different.
Right.
If you have to rotate, I mean the move's the same. If your front leg internal rotation isn't there, you're not going to be able to swing the bat the same way you wouldn't be able to swing the golf club. It's going to limit you in the same ways.
And back to that, people probably maybe chuckling, but if you watch the PGA Tour, the guys are lifting weights. It's not. It's real.
Oh, they're strong. Like, I mean, Rory McIlroy is. They posted a video after he won the Players, and he is strong.
And it goes. Who started it? You think Tiger? I mean, he seemed like he was lifting the weights. I'm sure somebody else was back then, but
Tiger definitely changed a lot of that. I mean, he can't use his lower body as much anymore, so he had to use his upper body.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, his upper body's huge.
And
then
many golf scholarships out there too, if you don't mind talking about that.
Yeah. A ton. I don't know as much. I only train one golfer right now. He's at St. X right now, and he's a freshman. He's in the top 20 in the junior rankings in Kentucky. I think he's going to be solid. And he comes in once, twice every week, and he's him and his sister are my only one-on-one clients at the moment right now. But I really enjoy working with golfers because I love golf. I think I played 150 times last year.
Nice. Yeah, I know my boys love it. Cooper and Tucker just get out there. Tucker's been taking some of the guys at Louisville baseball team that have never played before, and they keep wanting to go back out there and try to get better. You know, it's one of those things you can play till you're 90 and just get better each time if you want to.
Yeah, I love it for me because I was telling the kid the other day, it actually makes my business better because when I'm able to go and completely take my brain away from the weight room and focus on something else, I come back to the weight room and I know what I want to accomplish that day, and I'm not worried about other things.
Nice. I guess the baseball side of it as well, you still have cages in the facility as well, and so guys come in there and hit. Can teams come in? How about tell us a little bit about the facility?
Yeah, so we rent out to a bunch of teams that have yearly scheduled practices here. We don't do as much walk-in rentals as some other places, just because we have so many teams in here. We have some really good people that do lessons here as well.
Nice, and that's important too, because the lesson side of hitting is, like you just said with the golf, it's just as important. But back to your career and what you do, I do think it's more important sometimes than just going to take extra swings in the cage or throwing a baseball. Like, I just want you to end on how important you think it is, because I know it is. I've
Yeah.
witnessed it with every level of baseball.
Yeah, I think that strength and conditioning just allows you way more room for error in your game. If you're 150 pounds and you're weak and you barrel a ball up, you have to be perfect, as the kids would say in MLB The Show, to
Mhm.
hit that ball out of the park. But if you're 215 pounds, just really strong, you can hit a ball off the handle and you can muscle a double. Then if you're fast, you could hit a blooper, you're on second for a
Yep.
double too.
Yep.
I think strength itself and speed just changes the game. That's why, I mean, you see, I think I looked at a college, I think I looked at the 5 teams that went to the College World Series last year, and there was one player under 200 pounds. And that player, I went on his perfect game profile, that player that was under 200 pounds, he was 185, but he was running a 6'4", 60.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, the physical part of the game is, like you said, almost more important than the skill part. Um, you can teach. I think you can teach more skill than you can get strength wise. If you can build that strength background, um, your skills are going to have such a higher ceiling.
I agree. I agree. Where can the parents and the athletes out there find you? I know you're on Instagram. What
Yep.
else are you on?
So on Instagram, it's Ian Ellis Training. On Facebook, it's just my regular Facebook, Ian Ellis. Facebook would be better for the parents. I put a lot of information there for the parents on the Instagram and Twitter. Twitter I use to get my guys out to more college
Gotcha.
coaches, and so
Cool.
I can just showcase them. On Instagram, I'm more kind of putting content out for the players themselves.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, another young professional in the sports world. I love it. I'm going to have more of you guys on, hopefully, and I appreciate you coming on the show today, Ian. And I'm sure you got some work to do. I hear a batted ball, I think, back in the background there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we got some guys coming in.
awesome. All right, man. Appreciate you having
All right,
on the show, bud. See you, man.
thank you.
All
See
right.
ya.